Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another side stepping adventure, a mid-Tennessee adventure. We are on our way to the grave of Church Lester. And I thought, well, I'll just let you tag along, tell you a little bit that I know. Church was a bootlegger, like I said, Moonshiner. Now, I never met the man, but I have family that has told me that everybody liked Church. Church was a good, outstanding man. Got along with everybody. You know, if you crossed him, that was a different story. If you've ever seen that movie Lawless, or about the bootleggers of Franklin County, that was pretty much like what Church was similar to that. But good guy. And actually, Linda Agee, my cousin, his mom and her family actually went to his funeral. But back in 1938, 39, something happened. Something that forever changed the course of life for a lot of people. If Church was involved in it, and also a cousin of mine, because it involved another cousin, his brother. So, and if you're car sick, I want to advise watching this. We're going straight up the mountain here. This is in Bledsoe County, by the way. It's a long ways up. So as we get closer to the cemetery, I'll turn you back on as soon as I can make my way. See, we got to go way up there, and I'll show you a view right here. Look at that. The road, we come up right down through there. So I'll turn you on back on when we get there, okay? Or closer. So continue the journey. Hey guys, we're almost there. See, I wanted you to see just in the woods is where this cemetery is at. This is actually on some kind of wildlife uh, area back here. Isn't it pretty? Now there's a sign.
In 600 feet, you will arrive at your destination.
Sorry. Let me turn that off. I know where I'm at then. I don't need that thing. But yeah, there's the sign. We'll get out and check it out. I ain't really never got up close to it. So maybe I can just zoom in instead of. We'll get out. Hey everybody, we're back. And we're just gonna walk to the sign because it's not that far. I got to looking. Look at right there. That road. There's been a road cut into there. So I'm probably assuming, maybe speculate, I think the reason why the cemetery is in here in the woods, probably a town or something was in the woods, maybe some houses, but, and it's 20 degrees this morning. Two days, Sunday, I can't remember what the date is. My coffee ain't kicked in yet, but 2 days before Christmas Eve, so I hope the sign is getting close. But I thought, well, heck, we'll just walk down here to it. There it is. Yep, stomach. So I hope everybody is enjoying the videos. There's the sign. Wildlife management. Yeah. Huh. There's something to scan. Let's go back up here. As we're walking back up to the grave of Lester Church, I'm gonna cut across. Well, I'll stick to the road. I'll tell you some more of the story. Arnold, I think that was his name. Let me think. Arnold Collett. He was a business partner. Or Arnold. I think it's Arnold. I look at so many names, people, I can't get everybody, who's who. So, I think it's Arnold. You'll see it, but Arnold was a business partner, and Arnold's also my cousin. Then you got White Tollett. He's also my cousin. Distant, that is. Like, second or third. Ancestry says second cousin 4 times removed. So, if y'all know what position of a cousin he would be in, let me know. But anyway, Arnold was a business partner with a man. I'm not gonna tell you much because you need to buy the book and stuff. And I'll put in some links. And by the way, but I think his name was John. But back in 1937, they had words. There was an argument. And John, we'll just call him John, because I think that's his name. He pulls out a pistol and he just fills Arnold full of lead. He kills him. Well, White Tollett, his younger brother, and Church Lester, they're all friends at that time. And like I said, Church was a good man, If you didn't cross him, you were alright. If he loved you, he'd do anything for you. From what I've understood about the man. Don't know nothing much about White, but the Dalits, they're pretty crazy people, Anyway, my fourth great grandma was a Dalit that married into the Davenports, so that's how I'm related to him. But anyway, they hatch up this plan to go get John White and by the way, I don't know why I'm showing you my face and walking back and forth. But White and Lester and somebody else, they hatch up a plan to go get John. Now, John and Arnold had this business. Somebody in my family told me that it wasn't a restaurant, but the book that one of my other relatives from the Swafford family, he wrote the book and said, I don't know what he said, I ain't got the book. I need to get the book. But, it is said, from what I found out, and there's a bunch of stuff online you can look up about, just type in bootlegger or Moonshiner, Church Lester, and it'll give you up a bunch of information. So, anyway, Willie, or White, and Church get all liquored up, and it's a nighttime, and the guy lived in Carter County, and that's a couple hours away from Pikeville, and his restaurant or business was in Johnson City, so, and that's all I'm going to tell you. about that right at the moment. We are at the grave of church. And I will tell you how Church passed away. He passed away with his hands tied behind his back, and he was hung in the, I think, prison in Nashville at that time. But I'm going to leave it at that. Now somebody said the cemetery's haunted with Church's spirit, so I don't know. I don't believe in that stuff, so I believe in the Bible. What the Bible tells me, that's what I go by. But I'll see you guys in a little bit, and we're going to finish up the story at White Tollett's grave. Okay? See you there. It might even be a little bit warmer when I get there. And I did do this cemetery, by the way, so that's why I'm not showing you the rest of them. So I'll see you at his grave. So guys, we're almost to White Tollett's grave. I just turned it on. We are on East Valley Road. Somebody asked me, well, about somebody in the Morris. I think John Morris. But Tollett, this is where they're buried at. So, if you're watching this, you'll know right there's the sign. Tollett Cemetery. I'll see you there. Hello everybody. We are here at the Tollett Cemetery. And why are we here? Well, Church was friends with the Tollett family. Very good friends. Tollett family was well-known pioneer family from Bledsoe County. They pioneered into Bledsoe, one of the first pioneer families to come in to Bledsoe County. So Church had these Tollett friends, and one of them, Arnold, was a good friend of his. Now how am I involved in this? Because Arnold and his little brother are a part of my family DNA gene, as you might say. They're cousins of mine. So I'm reckoning that these are some Tollett graves right here. I'm thinking. Could be. So Arnold would have been my grandma Elizabeth's. That would have been his great aunt, Elizabeth. She married Claiborne, Grandpa Claiborne. Here's a little bit of history. So it was Elizabeth's brother's grandsons that we're talking about, along with church. So, I'll tell you the rest in a minute. Hi everybody. I'll read you the story of Church Lester. Church was a moonshiner in the early 1930s, 1900s. He was your friend, very loyal. If you didn't cross him, told you. He was indicted in a Tennessee court for the bombing, murder of, this says 2 little girls, but it was actually 3 little girls. The person who was supposed to be killed was the father of these little girls, who just happened not to be home when this terrible act happened. He was found guilty of course and sentenced to die. However, before this could be carried out, he was found hung in his cell with his hands tied behind his back. He was laid to rest in his family cemetery. And I actually took you there. But the rest of the story, here it is about church. Livingston, Elizabethton, Tennessee, March 17th. Church Lester, 43 years of age, of Pikeville, Tennessee, condemned along with another man to be executed May the 28th in the dynamite deaths of 3 children near here last January, hanged himself in his cell at Carter County Jail late today. Now, for one, how can you hang yourself with your hands tied behind your back? You know, that's pretty much impossible to do. I think. I never tried it. I don't intend to. But let's go on. Coroner Porter Nave returned a verdict of suicide caused by strangulation after a inquest. I don't know what I'm hearing. I'm hearing something. J.M. Moreland, I might have butchered his name, sorry, said Lester's body was found by jailer W.P. Bowlers as he went to place a prisoner in a cell. The body, the sheriff said, was hanging by a leather belt from a crossbar. A note addressed to Darling, and signed your husband, C.C. Lester, was found on Lester's bunk. I have stood this punishment as long as I wish, the note read. I want you to look after the burial and leave room for yourself at your death. Take good care of yourself in Woodville. God bless you both. Sorry, I'm reading this to you the first time I read it. So I'm getting kind of choked up by it. So, but we know either he was made to write it, he was probably made to write it. So we'll go with that. Okay, where was I at? And meet me in heaven. Sheriff said the note apparently was intended for Lester's wife and child. Sheriff declared Lester had been moody since he was convicted, reading a Bible several hours daily. Dr. J.A. Harlan, county physician, examined the body and said death was due to strangulations. Duh, what does hanging do to you? And Harlan, whatever that word says, estimated it took 30 minutes for Lester to die. Lester was one of 4 Bledsoe County men convicted March the 3rd of first-degree murder in connection with the dynamite deaths later January 7th of the 3 young daughters of Harlan Cruge or something like that. I post this in the community post so you can read it yourself. So, the others were White Miller Talent, Lee Walker, and Ulysses Walling. Later, Lester and Tollett were sentenced to be executed. Walter and Wally received 21-year prison terms, which they already have started serving. Lester denied any connection with the dynamiting. Tollett did not take the stand. Walling and Walker, however, testified they were unwilling participants in the dynamite naming Lester and Tollett as the dynamiters. Counsel for Lester and Tollett. Sorry. I burped. That's why I'm saying I'm sorry. Entered a new trial motion for the two condemned men, and Circuit Judge Ben Allen heard argument on the motion late Saturday. He withheld a decision in the case until Saturday. Okay, I got more. So let me go to that for you. Okay, this is about church. His crime was selling of dynamite that destroyed the home of Harlan. We know his first name. It's not John, it's Harlan. Near Elizabethton in January of 1938. That blast injured his wife and killed the couple's 3 little girls. I tried to name them for you. I'll probably butcher them, but I don't think so. I think her name is Sonia, maybe? Yeah, I butcher them. I can't name them, but there's 3 of them. Harlan was not at home at the time of the explosion, and I put this on the community list so you can see it and read it. The explosion was done in retaliation to the killing of Tollett brother Arnold. Harlan was tried for the killing, but was found to have acted in self-defense, thus not guilty. Yeah, what self-defense? You kill one time, he didn't stop. And we are at the grave of Arnold. Here's the grave of Arnold. Now, a little bit of insight for you. Arnold, well, let me finish the story first. Okay, the other person involved was White, his younger brother. Now White, he got electrocuted for the dynamite killing of the 3 children. He got electrocuted. And I'll put the date November or January 11th. But I'll put all that in there for you. Now, their mom and dad are right here. Oops. They're right here. That's their stone. But that's their daddy, Major. That's their dad. And their mom their mom, and this is their grandma and grandpa, which so also happen to be Elijah Gorgelet, my fourth great uncle. So here's my intake about it. My intake is, and me, Lyndall, my cousin, we've been talking about this, and I got to thinking about the story, and it was entitled in eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. I'm thinking maybe that they might have got information from somebody that he was going to be home. My theory is maybe, just maybe, it was White that got the information. But my theory goes that if he did get any kind of information, maybe it come from a woman that loved Harlan, wanted the kids and the wife out of the way, then thought that she might get Harlan if they were out of the way. But my cousin, Lyndall, and my other cousin, Dan, seemed to think that they were down here in Bledsoe County, sitting there, getting all liquored up on moonshine, had a bunch of dynamite, which, by the way, the story goes that they did prepare to do it because they went to go get the dynamite. Somebody did. And so I think my theory is probably a little bit more accurate, that they did get information from somebody, but he seems to think they got down there and was just getting liquored up and, come on, let's go blow them up. And Church was like, yeah, come on, I'll drive you. Come on, we'll take my old pickup truck. So, either way, it was a bad decision to do. But there's no doubt he was guilty. So one day he can't help who you're related to, but then again, we've all done stuff that, is bad. So you gotta pay for your sins in some way or manner. So he got his in a bad way. So there you go. By the book, which the book is expensive, folks, for Church Lester. I'm talking a couple $100. So I'll put a link. If you're wealthy enough to buy it, I'd say buy it. It's worth a buying. So like, share, subscribe, and this ends the story about Church Lester in a little way. And, by the way, I'm attaching the cemetery video to this video, so don't go nowhere, 'cause it's coming up right after I click off of this. Okay? So I'll see you there. Take care. Merry Christmas. God bless you. Happy New Year. Happy Hanukkah. Bye bye.